Justin, how difficult or how challenging have the last few weeks been for you, and what did it feel like to have a day like today?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Obviously, when you're not making shots, it's my job. There's no excuses. Nobody wants to hit those shots more than I do. So just to have my teammates believing in me throughout that stretch when I wasn't, I really couldn't get anything to fall, and my family that helped me a lot, just to stay with it. And I've been this way since my freshman year. I've been an everyday guy, so I just continued to take it one day at a time, and I think that was really what helped me, come out here and do what I did today.
What was the hardest point, and then what did it feel like to have it, break through today?
The hardest point is just because the coaches even told me, obviously I'm a shooter, so when I feel like, when I'm not making shots, I feel like I'm almost useless out there. But, they told me I'm one guy that coaches. He said that he's coached that, I can be out on the court and not hit shots and still have a positive impact on the game, just with a bunch of different things, my communication, rebounding, talking on defense, just a lot of little things that some guys don't bring to the floor. So, just staying with it, like I said, each and every day was, the main thing for me to get through that stretch.
Did any of your teammates in particular, give you any encouraging words that you kind of, maybe leaned on during the stretch?
I wouldn't say there was one particular one, but like EJ, Malachi, Jamari, they know how good of a shooter I am. Obviously, I do too. But when you're not hitting shots, it kind of makes you double think yourself. Because I really never had a stretch like that in all 4 years here. When I was thinking back, where I really was struggling just to get the ball to go through the hole. So every day that in practice, even in games, they're telling me keep shooting. You're one of the best shooters in the country. Just keep letting it fly. Trust your work. That's what I did.
What did it do for your confidence just to see the first one go down today?
Oh, a lot. It always feels good to see the first one go down as a shooter. Regardless, though, if I miss my first one, I'm still going to shoot the second, shoot the third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
I think you hit your first three. Did you start feeling it a little bit after that, getting into a little bit of a groove?
Yeah, you could say that. Once you hit one or two and you see it go through the hoop, that's almost any basketball player. Just once you see it go through the hoop, you almost feel like you get in a rhythm. So yeah, to hit my first three, it felt really good.
Because it felt like you were just letting them fly after that, regardless of whether it went in, you airballed one. You were kind of all over the place. It was just like you would hit some, and so now you were kind of in it.
Yeah, especially once I hit one or two, my immediate first thought is catch and shoot. If the defender's not on me, obviously not sticking to me. If it's a clean look, I think I got fouled on one of them, but I thought I was going to get a cleaner look than I did. But yeah, when you hit two or three in a row, you definitely get a rhythm, start to feel yourself. First thing for me is to think catch and shoot when I get after I hit two or three.
So when you miss two or three in a row, does it go the opposite way with the confidence? You get a little bit.
It can, but I've learned the past few weeks to just brush it off. There's a lot more game to be played. The game's fast. You can't just sit back and dwell on every mistake you make. If you do that, you're just going to keep making more mistakes. So one thing I really learned was just to keep it pushing, keep doing you, keep playing hard, impacting the game any way you can.
Great. Chris Holman was telling us during the stretch that practices really haven't changed for you. Threes were sinking in practice and things like that. Has your approach changed at all during the practice, these past few weeks practice-wise, or what has that been like, knowing that they're sinking in practice, but really just haven't been able to translate on the court?
Yeah, like I said, it's frustrating because it feels like the whole fan base is against you when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But like I said, for me, it was just one day at a time. Just being an everyday guy, like I've been all 4 years here. So I wouldn't say my approach changed. No, to answer your question, I was just doing me, doing what I do, getting here, getting shots early, before practice, making sure everybody's competing as hard as we can in practice, so we can keep getting better each and every day.
And you were talking about kind of the approach in different areas of the game. Did you find yourself focusing more on, say, defense or playmaking or things like that over this stretch to see, as coaches continue to preach you make an impact other than just shooting the three?
Yeah, Coach P told me just to really focus on three areas of the game. That's my toughness, my defense, and my rebounding. So those are three areas that I tried to really key in on these past two days. That was one note he told me. He said everything else is going to fall in place as long as you focus on these three things and play hard. And it did.
So do you do anything else to kind of get out of your head outside of basketball, maybe to just, not think about missing shots during a stretch like
Yeah, I play video games with my teammates sometimes. So that's one way just to relax. Get my mind off basketball. Have some fun. I believe in God, so I talk to God a lot. To be honest, I didn't really change anything the past 2 weeks. Because like I said, I haven't really had a stretch like that in all 4 years here, where I just couldn't get a shot to fall. So I knew it really wasn't anything that I was doing. Like I was working just as hard as I always have, practicing just as hard as I always have. So just to be able to trust that, fall back on that was big for me.
And Zed, you weren't here when we asked, but what did it feel like for the rest of you guys to see Justin start to hit him? I know the bench went pretty crazy when the first one went down. What was your guys' reaction?
I loved it. We've been going through a shooting slump, but just keep shooting. I'll be telling him, just keep shooting, because eventually you have to get out of it. Like, it's not gonna last forever. So when that first one went down, I was like, oh yeah, he's back. So it was a good night for him. Keep shooting.
Any more for Justin? Let's go one more for you.
Just, you've been around here a while, so you sort of understand the ebbs and flows of the college basketball season. I'm just curious, at this point in the year, you guys have played so infrequently. How does it feel different in terms of maybe what you feel like you know about this team at this point in the season compared to what you normally would if you had been able to play at a normal kind of cadence?
Yeah, one thing I know for sure about this team is we're battle tested. Because obviously, as you guys know, we've been in a lot of games that came down to the last shot. A lot of games. Just whether we win or loss, just to be in those moments, I feel like that's going to help us a lot in the long run. Because as you guys know, some nights, we're going to have an off night. We're not going to be hitting shots. The other team's going to be hitting. So, just to be in those moments and experience, what it's like at the end of the game to be fighting, for the game, the final answer. Just to have been through that, I think that's going to help us a lot.
And I think both of you guys might have perspective on this. I'm just curious what you think about how EJ has grown kind of as a playmaker. He had 5 assists and no turnovers. He seems to find you Zed quite a bit on those high-level actions, and I know he can find shooters as well. Justin, just what have you seen from him in terms of improvement in his passing and kind of seen before?
Yeah, obviously I've been with EJ all 3 years that he's been here, so just to see him grow as a player has been amazing to watch. You see it every day. He's an everyday guy, like I said. And coach tells him, you got to go be the best player in practice each and every day. And I feel like these past couple weeks he's really been doing that, in every aspect of the game, whether he's blocking shots, finding open teammates when the double comes, or hitting tough shots. So just to see him grow and expand his game and, excel in so many different aspects of the game is really, honestly, amazing to watch to me.
Thanks, Justin.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Justin. Get some for EJ and we'll go down and get coach. Or that is Zed or Key right
I said
there.
it was DJ.
That's all this talk about EJ.
Player of the year?
Tell him. Maybe start shooting jumpers now. Tell him. Stop DJ.
Zed, I know the Purdue game didn't go the way you wanted it, and Coach Holtman was pretty public about challenging you for more. To score 6 straight to start this game the way that you did and establish yourself in the paint, how much did you need that, and how much did you feel that impacted the game?
Well, after the Purdue game, I was talking to the coaching staff, and they just said to be more consistent with the play. They expect a lot of me every day in practice and in the game. So that's what they said, to be more consistent. So I've been with Coach Vito every day, running more, shooting a lot more, and just trying to stay consistent.
What does that look like? How do you work on something like that?
This is the point in time of the season where it's a lot of games and short stretches, and so just gotta keep the wind up. Because last year around this time, my wind has gone significantly down, and it affected my play. So just trying to not have that happen again since last year. Just trying to keep my condition up, because I worked so hard for it, and I'm not trying to lose it again. So just trying to keep that.
What do you feel like went wrong for you against Purdue, maybe, and how much did it have to do with the tough defensive assignment of guarding a guy that was 7'4" and whatnot?
Well, this ain't no excuse, but I picked up 2 quick fouls against Purdue, and I just really couldn't get in no flow in the game after that. Come back in, foul, go sit back down, come back in and foul. But it's tough. But that's not an excuse. I still gotta come in and just be like, as Justin said, everyday guy. So. Just as going back, talking to the coaching staff, they said I need to be better. So took that to heart and just trying to be better every day.
when it comes to, I mean, whenever you ask players what the Big Ten is like, it's physical. It's down low, kind of gritty. And I'm curious about, I mean, obviously you saw that, and that led to a little bit of inconsistency like you were talking about against Purdue. But, I mean, today to kind of set the tone, kind of set the presence of physicality inside the paint, especially on those first three makes inside, how much confidence does that bring, not only for you, but just for the offense to kind of establish that paint presence to allow kind of the rest of the offense to work around?
Well, confidence for me, when I see that first basket go through, I'm like, okay, like, come on, get it going. Like, you know, you're good. So now we out there and like, get a little nervous. Every game I'm nervous before the game. So that first basket, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're good. So, you know, just coming in and playing physical, like it sends a team a message when you're the more physical team and you guys just come out there and punch them in the mouth basically. Yeah, definitely does send a message, and it helped us win tonight because Maryland's a really good team, but you know we got them from the jump.
Was there a message, especially, you guys didn't have an offensive rebound, I don't think, until the second half, and I'm curious, what was that talked about in the locker room at halftime? Or
Yeah, Coach Holman said we had to get more offensive rebounds, so we got to crash the glass a lot harder than what we were doing, and the team took that to heart. Came out in the second half, rebounded a lot more, and you know, it helped us get second chance points, easy layups around the rim, and threes, and kick out to Justin and the other shooters. So, you know, offensive rebounding big for us.
Sid, what do you think was the biggest difference today? Like you said, you built a double-digit lead and it pretty much stayed there. What was the difference? What enabled you guys to kind of keep them at arm's length throughout?
I think it was just our energy and just the will and want to win. You know, as I said, we came out the jump ready to go. People hitting big shots. Justin came in, started hitting threes, and you know, the crowd got behind us, and you know, feeding off the crowd, you know, just kept it going. So, you know, it was a good win.
Last one for Zed here. Does some of that come from you're supposed to play Thursday, you don't play Thursday, so maybe you got some maybe pent up feelings or pent up aggression? Does some of what we saw today come from some of that?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, we want to play Iowa, but due to the weather and some unforeseen circumstances, we couldn't. And you know, it's tough. You know, game ready to play, game day, game canceled or postponed. So it's definitely tough. But you know, the guys are always ready to play, and we really want to play. So definitely have to build up energy ready to go.
Thanks, Ed.